Good afternoon. My name is Ramon Ganders, representing the Arizona Transportation Builders Association, formerly known as the Tucson Utility Contractors Association. Thank you for allowing us to speak today. It's unfortunate that some of our business community has left, but I'm here to represent our organization and what it means for our community. I appreciate the $5 million from the general fund to help maintain our roads. But I strongly encourage each and every one of you to look deep inside to find more dollars. I don't think that's a hidden secret for more dollars, for more funding. I don't think that's a hidden secret coming from an organization that represents heavy highway, heavy civil contractors, engineers, equipment suppliers. But certainly, I think some folks who have already spoken have kind of hit up on it. I don't want to reiterate too much, but of course it is a safety issue. It is a community issue, and it is a return on your investment through a lot of different ways. And so I can't strongly advocate enough for you all to find more dollars. I know, Mr. Huckleberry, you and I have had a lot of conversations, as I have with others, about trying to find other funding sources. And I think as the business community, we should take the leadership to help you with that. Whether that's through gas tax or other means of sources, I don't think it's going to just take one either in this particular state. But here's our quandary. We rely too much on our federal government. We got a new Congress, we're not sure where that's going to go. We're relying too much on our state, and as you talked about, how these revenue dollars are being taken. So now I'm looking at you. You're our next folks that are going to help our investment into transportation infrastructure safety, getting people from point A to point B as it's an economic driver. So I strongly encourage you. I certainly would like to offer our services as an association to lend a hand to you all to find ways that will work for our community, to find more funding, to put more roads, keep maintained. As you know, infrastructure as it's aging, it's only going to cost us more down the line. So we're here pleading with you on behalf of our association to invest more. We appreciate your input into this subject, but please also rely on us and the business community to help you and help the community, and maybe that is to find other avenues to have an open discussion and dialogue where the entire community can get involved and hear from them as well as to what avenues we can find from them that they would be approving of to help find more dollars. So that being said, I know I got 30 seconds. I will digress.
Mr. Ganders,
Yes, sir.
you know, you're a pretty smart guy.
I would think so.
Yeah, I always thought so. You're a nice gentleman. Knowing that this money comes from property taxes, and knowing the interest of your own members at profiting from these road improvements, and we're all in favor of that. We understand it's America, land of the free, home of the brave. Knowing that money comes from property taxes, recognizing what a bad deal that is for the residents of District 5, would you say it's smarter to improve major arterials or to go into smaller neighborhood streets?
I don't know what your equity breakdown is, to be honest with you.
You don't know what do you mean by
Well,
that?
in terms of how much money you need for the arterial
No, what
roads
he's
versus
asking.
your residential.
About 90% of my district exists within the jurisdiction of the city of Tucson, so they get very little return if we're paving neighborhood streets.
I will tell you.
Whereas if we're paving arterials, I can make an argument to Mr. Vega over there by C. Rose Spit. Mr. Vega, you're gonna drive on Ina someday. You're gonna drive on Thornydale someday. This is helping you, sir.
Sure.
Otherwise,
right.
I don't have much to tell him, do I?
Well, that's up to you. You're the elected official.
No,
to
but
their
what's your
constituent.
opinion on it?
My
That's what I'm
opinion,
asking.
my opinion would be, I'm not here to advocate versus arterial or residential. I think they all need to be improved. Obviously, your roads
Okay, thank you.
are deficient.
I
And
understand.
I think that's important that all of it needs to be repaired. And just so you know, I am the chairman of the Prop 409 with the city bond. And we have the same equity issue in terms of residential versus commercial. And we have the same problems.
Not at
Not
all.
at all.
Well, okay, but
Not at all, because
See, I
you're using
disagree with
sales
you.
taxes there.
Okay, but
We're talking
I'm talking
property
in terms of
taxes
I'm
here.
turning-
That's where the inequity
I'm
comes.
talking in terms of the money that needs to be used to pave the roads, to maintain those roads. wherever it comes from, and I'm not advocating what funding source it needs to come from. I'm advocating that there needs to be more money across the board.
I think
I
we all
understand
agree.
That's
I'm
what I'm
asking you.
trying to-
We all agree, but
I'm
it's how we
asking-
get the money and how we do it.
And that's why we're offering our services to help you find those sources. And I think, obviously, as I described earlier, we can't rely on the federal government, we can't rely on
The
our
federal
local.
government and the regional governments and the state
Right.
governments all have the same issue.
We do, and it's
the
not,
only money's gonna fix it, that's the reality.
that's why I ask you to look further into your budget to find more money.
Supervisor, can I
And
finish?
so that means raising taxes, and are you willing to do that?
I'm not advocating for that right now.
Well, then, I don't know how we can't, we're
Well,
not
I
the
think-
federal
I think it's a
government.
priority.
We
I
can't
think it's a
print,
priority.
we can't print money.
I think it's a priority within
And I
your
think
budget.
Can
There are a
I,
lot of
Madam Chair?
priorities.
can I finish my comments,
Sure.
please? I never had the opportunity.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor Miller. You know, Ramon, you know very well that not all funding sources are created equal. And so we're asking you a fair question here because you're supposed to be an expert on this and the members of your industry are experts on this. And I know you understand how different funding sources impact your members. And that's why I was asking you for opinion. If you don't want to offer it, I understand that. It's probably smart of you not to offer it so that you don't end up looking bad. But I just wanted to say, Ramon, I know you real well. That's just a little tiny bit disingenuous. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that. I think you just should know that funding needs to come somehow, somewhere.
I got it.
All right? Because
Thank
obviously,
you.
if it's not coming from your budget currently, then we need to find it elsewhere, and we need to figure out what the best value is for our community.
Madam Chair?
Right, thank you for Supervisor Miller.
Madam Chair, I think I get Mr. Supervisor Elias's point, but I would also like to point out that District 1 pays one-third of all of the property taxes of all 5 districts. District 4 comes in second at 23%. Now, you talk about inequity. Our roads didn't get paved last year, the money got swept, and when I came into office, after 20 years, District 1 had 73% built roads versus the rest of the county at 63%. So I just wanted to make that point. When you start talking about equity with property taxes, District 1 pays one-third of all of the taxes, and you keep throwing that out there, Richard, and that's not right. We pay one-third of all the taxes. And last year, we got less than Chuck Huckleberry's salary approved for road repairs in District 1.
I do understand that, and your argument is based on the fact you think only the rich should be served. I don't.
That is not based on that fact. That is a fact that the people in District 1 pay one-third of. I get to answer Mr. Supervisor Elias's response. We pay one-third of all of the property taxes of all 5 districts, and no one ever made that statement, and I really resent the fact that you accused me of that, Mr. Elias. And last year, you got
All right,
far
I
more
think
money
we
in
need to
District
get
5
back
than we
to
got
the
in
issue.
District 1.
If I could just finish
That's
in
an
closing.
outrageous comment.
If I could just finish in closing, all I'm saying is I challenge each and every one of us, including ourselves, as an industry, to come up with ways to find ways to repair our roads and maintain them. And as I described to you, the longer we wait here, the longer they're going to be unrepaired, and it's going to cost us more.
That's right.
All right,
It's
so
been in
that's
District
why
for years.
I'm here advocating for what you have on today, hopefully more, and in future, we work with all of you and Mr. Huckleberry to find other ways.
And I think that we will end on that positive note.